Ben, I just noticed the shirt you're wearing. You whore. Okay. Full spoilers for the audio listeners. He's wearing the Victor podcast shirt. So I always sometimes forget to do that. Full spoilers for Top Gun Maverick, the sequel, the long-awaited sequel, the legacy sequel to Top Gun. Full spoilers. You have been warned, dude. Don't watch this. Turn it off. Run for the hills.
So many spoilers.
All right, what do we think about this?
I had such a good time with this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Never mind. Ben.
Me too. I had an absolute blast with this film. You kidding me? This movie was great.
Sparkz.
Yeah, I had a great time. Unlike the original, I think this one is able to repeat 80% of the exact same beats, but 100 times better.
I think this movie rules. This movie rocks my socks. I have nothing bad to say. I'll just say that right now.
I don't have. It's not bad, but it is my only one. Let's talk about it because I don't know how I feel. I think the romance subplot is fine.
Yeah,
interesting.
I'd agree.
I think it's fine. I think it doesn't take away from the movie because it's like it is intertwined. But every time we go back, I just think it's like nice romance. But like it feels like it's there to be there. It's not giving me a lot, but it's not bad.
I will disagree with that.
Yeah. Okay.
I really like the romance subplot. I think it adds a lot to the movie. It adds a lot of drama to the movie, and it adds sexiness back to blockbusters. Hell yes. And it's the first time in like 20 years that I have bought a romance between Tom Cruise and a woman.
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
And
that's true.
it is very charming. It is very character building because Maverick is meant to be a more vulnerable character. That they don't really do a good job of showing that in the first film, but this one is very much what that was meant to be. So that like helps as he's finding the closure, the way out, essentially the way out that he's never had. He's finding that there is a life outside of the Navy, which he's just never explored because he's been a captain in the Navy for 30 years. I
do like that it's Penny who is the throwaway girl from the first movie who's not in the movie. That's really cute that they like his on again, off again lady it's still 40 years later. They're still doing it.
The congressman's daughter.
Yeah.
Admiral's daughter.
The admiral's daughter. Sorry.
There's this family that was sitting next to us in our theater, and it's like Penny. It's like there's this lady who's like, who's she? She was in the first movie. It's like, ooh. You're
right. She wasn't. She was mentioned.
You're not a true Top Gun aficionado if you don't recognize Penny.
I watched the movie. I watched the movie in the same day. I watched both movies in the same day, and I still turned to Zara. I go, "Who's Penny?"
Oh no, yeah, I thought it was cute.
I'm very glad that it was not the main girl from the first one because I felt like that would have just been like, yeah. Okay.
At first, I thought they just did a recast, and it was going to be her, but luckily he was like Penny, and I'm like, oh, word.
They would have to. I don't know if you've seen what she looks like now.
I haven't looked. Sorry, Kelly McGinnis. I haven't seen it.
That's not even like just because of character reasons. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense based on who that either of them are in the first film that they would still be together. Other than for like, guys, remember the first one? And I'm like, come on, man. I appreciate that. Like the point of it is that Tom Cruise's Maverick continues to suck at being able to hold down a relationship and not taking like his dynamics with women seriously. And Penny's the only one who he's like kind of even gotten close sometimes. Mm-hmm. The only part of like the plot that really bothers me about it is when he comes back from the mission and she's sailed away. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. That I guess like we had to have that like, for 30 seconds, you're going to think that maybe everything went south and she doesn't care about him. But don't worry, in 30 seconds, we're going to tell you that's not true.
It is very
And I'm
quick.
like, what? Why? Like, just have her be there. It doesn't make sense why she'd leave before finding out if he got back okay.
Yeah, that is, I do agree with that. I would have liked more time to sit with that because it is very, very, it's like Chewbacca dying and then like a minute later, like he's not dead. I'm like, well, let me live with it for a little bit because
there's something you mentioned that like this isn't something that like a lot of this film avoids a lot of legacy sequel mistakes. I think, and I even think like Tron Legacy, which is the last legacy sequel this guy did, it's the same, is in a similar vein, but like this is way better. But he says like, first off, his life didn't go to shit afterwards. Right? Like after the first movie, it's not like his life went to crap after he busted out of Top Gun. It's like, no, he he taught for like 2 months, that wasn't working, and then he had a great life as a test pilot and continued to be a captain in the Navy because that's what he wanted to continue being. I was like, oh yeah, because a lot of legacy sequels fall into a hurdle of like, in order to create the same kind of beats, we have to revert them back. Their lives couldn't have been good up until this point.
But importantly, he never advanced. He stayed exactly where he was, and he never flew with anyone else behind him.
Yeah.
Which was one of my things about this movie that I really like, because his character doesn't process Goose's death properly in the first film. He's forced to go back out and fly because he's like, I feel like I need to maybe step away and take some time. And everyone else is like, but you're Maverick. You're the best of us. You have to go fly. And he's like, I guess so. And so he goes and flies. And so like that works out, but he never properly processes the grief, nor does he ever really engage with how to deal with it. It's such a notable difference that when you watch the original Top Gun, he's not allowed to openly weep or cry in the original. And here he's allowed to cry more than once. And like he is a man who is now having to fully reckon with the trauma of the loss of Goose and what that has done with the relationship with his son.
That's what I was trying to get at when we were talking about Top Gun earlier in the show, or the original Top Gun, because Maverick doesn't process the grief. It's just like the scene between him and Viper after he's shaving and he goes, Goose is dead, just move on. It happens. And it's like, dude, really?
Right.
That's it kind of sucks.
Importantly, that's a shitty thing about the script of Top Gun. But Top Gun Maverick is improving on that idea and being like, hey, maybe it's time for him to finally learn to let go and go forward and how to accept what's happened.
And I think, they add the added thing of to create the drama that Goose's son Rooster doesn't have a good relationship. It's not because Maverick wasn't there for him. It's because of something that happened. His mom Meg Ryan made him promise he don't let him fly.
Right.
And so he's kind of like taken that on to protect the memory of Meg Ryan. I thought that was also a really good character moment and a really unique place to bring in that kind of drama.
Yeah. Importantly, though, it is still in the text of the film that like he never quite knew how to be there for him, and that Rooster did continue to kind of on a level blame him. The breaking point of that relationship centers around the pulling of the papers for the academy, but it was not on solid ground throughout that time. They both kind of make reference to that. And this is where they really truly patch it up.
But at any rate, like I still think it's a good way to approach that drama, to create that drama. It's unique to something I've never seen in a legacy sequel.
Right. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm merely contributing to the point.
Okay.
I think all the performances are awesome.
Yeah,
all the new kids, I like every single one of them.
Bob,
perfect one of those guys. Perfect, like dweeby, like I'm gonna be the hero, aren't I? Like type of characters with the glasses. Like his call sign is Bob. Like perfect. Like this feels like this really is a Top Gun sequel. Like for better or for worse, like it's like it's shot similarly but better. It has like similar story beats but better.
I want to pause you on like it's shot similarly but better. My God, when you're watching this movie and because I don't like in the first film, I like the first film fine, but like quite a bit. But like the first film, the background is just kind of moving noise.
Yeah,
and it looks so much nicer that they're actually up there and you get the actual backgrounds and it looks so good. Like damn.
Importantly, like bouncing off of your point is that the big difference here between the two films, the biggest one to me that makes this one sing, is that people thought about and knew how to film these jets to tell a story. And that is just not how I feel they thought about the first film.
Yeah.
Like it does feel like it's a jet, it's on screen, therefore, good job. This one is like, how do we film these and really show the audience what's up and tell a story with them? And that is here in spades. I'm never lost or confused.
Yeah. There are definitely times, especially in the first one, where the action's sometimes pretty decent, but there are times where it's just like a bunch of jets going left, right, and spinning, and you can't really tell what's going on. You just hear the chatter between Maverick, Iceman, Goose, Merlin, whomever. But you're right. In this one, you clearly see what's going on. You clearly see the action. You see the maneuvers these jets are going through, like the maneuver going up the mountain down to bomb essentially the Death Star, and then going back up an even bigger mountain. It's like, man, that's really freaking cool.
The thing that I love about the movie, it is incredibly simple. It is we have an objective. We're going to teach you the objective, do the objective. That's the movie. And then all the drama permeates around there. And like they have a certain amount of weeks, and they have to be not just the best of the best. They have to be better than that to do this impossible mission that only Tom Cruise can do.
They have to be Maverick.
They have to be Maverick. And that is, the jet stuff in this movie is insane. Not just because Tom Cruise actually flew most of the jets himself.
They all did. They all went to pilot school.
So here's the thing. So yes, most of the actual actors, they had pilots piloting them, but they were in the cockpits with them, with the cameras on them. They had they were their own cameramen in the jets. So that's even a level most actors would not do. So everyone was 100% in on making this as authentic and real as possible. There's like almost no CGI in this movie. I cannot believe that. I watched Tom Cruise take James Corden in an F-14 and actually do some of the shit he does in this movie. And he said James Corden was the only talk show host to say yes to it. And I believe it because I don't know if I would want Tom Cruise. He's not a real pilot. He is a pilot, but you know what I mean? He's an actor.
He's had his pilot's license for a long time.
He got his pilot's license.
He has less crashes than Harrison Ford, who is also a pilot.
The plane at the end is his plane. That's his hangar.
Yeah.
All that was filmed on his own location. Top Gun made him fall in love with this shit. And he is able to, almost 40 years later, make a better version than we ever had. Like, I don't give a shit about the military or jets. I love jets now. They're so cool.
They are really freaking cool.
Mag brings up an excellent point. Mag's asking, "Did we ever get the enemy country of the mission?" No. Just like and there's an amount. There's an amount of. It is carrying on from the first one. There's an amount of like American patriotism attached to xenophobia about that. You just kind of like accept that that's what's up. Like to go any further into it, to talking about who it is or why would humanize them in a way that this film is not interested in doing, which is why they have the completely blacked out masks.
It's the thing where it's like and this one has a slightly different problem than the first one, because the first one assumes that they're communists. These are communists.
Sure.
These are people.
It puts red stars on the plane, so it's
these are communists. We do not have we do not have an enemy that is directly attacking us at this point in our time. So we cannot name a country without insulting said country that we want this movie to be.
So they just bring back the planes with the red stars and they just call it a day.
And also, like, honestly, it doesn't matter who the enemy is. It's not the point. They have a mission. And like, again, you're not humanizing, like you said, Sparkz. Like, there is no human element to the enemy. It's not important. It's about the people doing the mission. So like that, honestly, like I don't want any human stuff involved. Just like the first movie. I think that's a really good thing they do. It's like, let's just focus on our characters. We don't need to add any of this extra stuff because like it could make it really gross and messy. Yeah,
that's what I was saying, is like the reason that they're going for that is still from the same, like, while this is a much more well-crafted film, it's still thinking in the same mentality, because this is how you get like the military to sign off on using these things for your film. Mm-hmm. It's still using the mentality of like, we don't want to humanize them too much because this is exactly how we want you to think about them when you're up there. Yeah. Is that they're just the enemy, the end of the discussion. And that's, like, problematic in its own way, but not necessarily, I think, problematic for the film script itself.
Yeah. I really like the beginning that it just is Top Gun. It's just like it opens with the same font. It kind of looks a little bit more grainy, and then it opens with the same opening text about Top Gun, and then it does all the pilot stuff. But the pilot stuff is like all the plane stuff is new, but it's shot in the same way with the same color palette.
Danger Zone.
Yeah, good stuff.
Honestly, I mean, I can see some people's like, oh, this is just like, they're just rehashing. It's like, no, this is Top Gun. You cannot start a Top Gun movie without Danger Zone.
But it's not rehashing except for that scene. Like, it's not. I'm glad they recreated it because that was the cool little nod.
I would describe this as the American Hideki Anno, because when you have people going, gotta do this thing, do that thing, we gotta that way. And then you have a bunch of dudes doing like finger signs and some of this and a lot of this, and they're all doing stuff. And it's like, danger zone. And guys are like, yeah, the jet went off. And I'm like, I'm an American right now. I feel like I'm American right now. Like, I buy it.
Notably, this was something that Michael and I were talking about, is the Top Gun opening, the way that the credits are coming over. Some of the shots, not all, of the shots that are that part where you're seeing like them getting the jets ready and everything, not well framed, not really showing you what's happening in the best way. All of the shots here are. Which is why I just really admire that, like, they really thought about, like, it's not just putting, I'm not trying to shit on Top Gun too much, but like it felt sometimes like they just put the camera somewhere and we're like, we caught something, great, put it in. And this feels like we're really showing you something. Like I can track the action of what's happening.
Fun fact, because again, I love to watch interviews with actors. There's a shot in the first Top Gun where Tom Cruise throws I think it's the what's it called, dog tags off
the dog tags
with like the sun in front of him and stuff. Tony Scott paid the Admiral like $50,000 to go off of his routine that he's supposed to do to go turn around and get that shot that he needed
to get
of his own money, because it was against the rules of what they were allowed to do. So he gave him a check for $50,000 to get that shot, and it's an okay shot.
Yeah, that's a Top Gun has a commitment that I'm glad. This is one thing aesthetically I'm really glad they abandoned in Maverick. Top Gun goes out of its way to make almost every sequence in the film take place during sunset or as close to as possible, and I'm glad that aesthetically we moved away from that in this one. It's gorgeous as is.
The making of this movie is going to be very fascinating to watch, and I cannot wait
for sure.
There's going to be such a good documentary about how this movie was made that I am going to eat up, because I think this movie is gorgeous from top to bottom.
It's truly like one of like the most well shot movies. I don't think the movie's better than like, it's not like a 10, but like this is one of the most well shot movies I've ever seen in terms of like trying to capture like jets and like water and like people looking hot on a beach. Like this is a good looking movie. Joseph Kosinski, who's directed Oblivion and Tron Legacy, he's visual style. He's got a good look for movies. That guy's got a great eye.
And the thing is, when you get Tom Cruise, there's a level that Tom Cruise has reached where he only really brings out a good performance for people that he likes, for people that he's got a good creative relationship with, like Christopher McQuarrie for the Mission Impossible films, and I would imagine at this point like Tony Scott, because he did Oblivion with Tony Scott, and he's good in that movie, honestly.
You mean Joseph Kosinski?
Yeah, Joseph Kosinski.
You're thinking of Tony Scott because of the original.
The original, yes, thank you. And he, Joseph Kosinski, but like he has two collaborators that he really likes in this movie, and he's delivering one of the best performances of his career.
And notably him finally taking the step across the threshold to say, I will play a character reconciling with the fact that he is old.
Yeah. And short.
Yeah,
and
for the first time. Oh my gosh,
that.
And letting him be short, that these guys finally can tower over him is so nice.
Miles Teller is so much taller than him. I love seeing him look up at him. It's so good.
And you know what? And that doesn't take away anything.
No.
It doesn't take away any character.
Not at all.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I have to say, I love how this movie makes homages to the original Top Gun outside of the opening sequence, but also like when they're at the bar. Like when you hear, I love what Tom Cruise is doing with the character of Maverick. Like when he's seeing Rooster play Great Balls of Fire and the bar is going off, and he's just like getting that flashbacks of Goose, that he's still not completely over the death of Goose. And then you get like, they throw him out of the bar. It's like, thanks for the beers, old man. And then he's walking up. It's like, call sign Maverick. And everyone's just like, shit.
This is the big thing, is that in the original, Maverick is an idea. In this one, he's a character. He's a real character with things going on. And I really appreciate that about him. I think one of my slight things with the script, and it's fine, it's really not a big deal, is I wish there was a little more nuance to Hangman, or a little bit more of a clear arc to Hangman.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's a little bit too much of a Iceman clone, but instead of thinking about the team being selfish.
Yeah, he's more like Dick Iceman, whereas by the way, I love this Iceman scene. Hurt my heart.
Oh yeah. They did a great job bringing Val Kilmer in under the circumstances.
I want to talk about Val Kilmer in like a big chunk, but like a little bit. I wrote a note because I just watched Pacific Rim Uprising, which had Scott Eastwood, and I was watching Glenn Powell in this movie. I was like, man, Scott Eastwood wishes he had this guy's charisma.
Glenn Powell is very talented. I've seen people talking about he should be Johnny Storm now, and I kind of agree.
Yeah, sure.
I think he's great casting for that. That being said, I really, really like Glenn Powell. I think it's because I enjoyed his performance so much that I was wanting maybe a little bit more of a developed arc, something just a little bit more to his character. Like Hangman obviously gets there at the end, but it doesn't feel like it feels like there's a slight beat missing with him.
Sure.
That's like just one of my small things. Like again, it's hard for me to not feel like his character is Iceman 2.0, but turned to dick mode. I just want a little bit more from him.
Speaking, because you brought up Iceman, Val Kilmer is in this movie. I didn't expect him, honestly. Not until I saw his like name in the credits, like the opening credits says with Val Kilmer. I was like, oh, he's in this.
Still, I thought it was just going to be the picture and the text messages.
Yeah.
Just out of respect. Because he is, even without that scene, he's still important to the movie because he's talking to Maverick throughout.
I knew he was in this movie because Tom Cruise did an interview, I guess, where he talked very personally about how it was important to him that they find a way to include him and how they workshopped on how best to do that and came to the scene that they did, because he said that he really did not want to leave him out even under the circumstances.
And I'm really glad they did, because his movie is his role in this movie is very important. It's a good scene. It's done very respectfully to his ailment. Even when we're just getting the text messages, like I would believe if you had told me that was just Val Kilmer texting Tom Cruise, I'd believe you. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because I really liked how they included him, and even his death, which is what kind of propels Maverick through his arc, is just wonderful stuff. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is him talking to Val Kilmer. And when Val Kilmer starts talking to him, powerful.
Very. Also one more thing about like when he comes in, he's like, how's my wingman? And he types, I want to talk more. He says, no. And then he just goes, I love that. But yeah, even the funeral scene where he bashes the wings into the coffin, like we saw that in the trailer. And honestly, I was scared that it was going to be one of his crewmen, because we get two goose moments in the movie when Coyote blacks out from the G's and you see the plane come back up. And then you hear Phoenix and Bob go, oh, thank goodness they're okay.
And then birds.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah, I think that this film builds tension so well. There are so many moments in this movie where like I said with Prehistoric Planet, like there are so many moments where I was just like, wow. And there's a lot of like when Bob and Phoenix, right? The girl's name is Phoenix.
Phoenix. Yes.
When she gets birded, and she goes down, and then I was holding on to Zara's hand, like clutching it, like, oh my god, did they just die? When he does the trench run, when he does the fake trench run to like prove that it's possible, it's like, oh god, is he gonna eat it? Is he gonna do it? Like obviously he is, because he's Maverick, but like at the same time the tension was still there, that I was fully invested in the story, that even if I thought they were gonna make it out, it was still a tense moment.
The last act of this movie, some of like the most tense I felt in a long time. And like I've seen a lot of like we've seen a bunch of cool movies this year. Like once he entered the real canyon, I'm like, oh my god, this is what the whole movie is. This is the movie. This is what we've been training for. And I was so in, and it looks so real because they're actually doing it most of the time. You see the G's on Tom Cruise's face, like pushing it back, and I'm like, man, like this whole movie, and like going back to the Val Kilmer scene. Tom Cruise he can't let go of being a big movie star. That's what this movie's about. That he said in an interview, I'll be doing this till the day I die. I will be 100 years old making these types of movies. And this whole movie's about, hey man, we rely on special effects. We don't need humans anymore. Like, why do you want to be a pilot so bad? And then you see Top Gun Maverick. You're like, oh right, only humans can do this. This is like this is why we go to the movies. Is like that real human drama. And it's so spicy. That finale is so good.
Mm-hmm. You brought up the finale, when the missiles are going and you see like Tom Cruise and like save Rooster, and you think that Tom Cruise, that's it, Maverick's dead, because there's a cue up when Rooster is talking like, hey, I want to talk, and he's like, we'll talk when we get back, and that's like code that you're not coming back.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
But then they made another really great tense moment when Rooster gets hit, and you're like, oh my god, did Rooster just die?
What a dummy.
And then they break that tension with a very good comedy moment where it's where he's just like, what were you thinking? You told me not to think. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess you're right. Yep.
I, like the scene where they're talking about how they destroyed the base and they're trying to get like, we gotta go back for Maverick, and it's like, no, the bandits are coming, the bandits are on the way, you get out of there. And then you see Maverick wake up, it's like, oh thank god. And then you see the helicopter, is like, that can't be, oh shit, no, oh shit, oh shit.
See, I thought when Tom Cruise got hit, that was going to be the end of the movie. I didn't realize we had another 30 minutes or something like that in the movie. And I'm like, how long is this movie? And not in a bad way. I was like, I'm having such a good time. I just assumed this would be the end with Tom Cruise dying as a Maverick. Like, no, he's going to have a sick ass behind enemy lines mission with his son, with his fake son.
Rooster, when you get to that point, it's importantly the end of everyone's character arc. Rooster and Maverick, when they fly together, when Maverick finally accepts a co-pilot in the backseat for the first time in years, and Rooster finally gets to the point where he trusts Maverick. He loves Maverick. He's that surrogate father that he's wanted.
And it's so anime. It's like so like beautiful movie nonsense that it's Maverick and the son of his best friend who died. Yeah. That is like such like a movie moment. Like they both get trapped behind enemy lines and they have to escape together. I'm like, God, only in movies would this happen.
But that's a movie.
Yeah.
As a third act.
Yeah. And the escape in an F-14 Tomcat.
Oh my god.
Importantly, I think it's very valuable that they don't force your mom had me pull the papers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That they allow that to just move forward from. Because it would have felt wrong for Maverick to give up the ghost on that.
Mm-hmm.
But if Rooster wouldn't let it go, they couldn't reconcile. Yeah. So it's good that they just found a way to move on from it without having to do that.
Yeah.
Just to live with the guilt that he did it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it doesn't matter anymore because they moved past it, and
right.
I agree.
A different script would have forced the resolution of saying, "Well, your mom." Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we didn't have to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that the film does a very good job of making it so that you don't have to watch Top Gun at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true. You just don't. Like, there's all the pieces you need are here. You can just watch this one.
Not just context clues. As many legacy sequels do. They just show you the footage.
Yeah.
Sometimes multiple times. We saw Goose
everything important you need to know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw clips from that original movie, the Goose dying, when after the mission between
Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah, Great Balls of Fire.
Ben, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you because I have an important question for you, sir. As the biggest fan of Top Gun that's ever Top Gunned, what did you think of the moment when Miles Teller said, "Talk to me, Dad"?
Oh God, broke my heart.
I loved it. I was so into that movie by this point. I was like, yeah, talk to him, Dad.
I was so happy that the very opening scene, which I was actually really glad that the opening scene was what it was a test pilot. It was a test flight because I thought, Maverick's going to his space. That's the last mission or something. I don't know.
Mach 10. He was trying to get to Mach 10.
Yeah, they're going to Mach 10, and as he's flying, he says, "Talk to me, Goose." I'm like,
and then because he always has to, he pushes it too far.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's filmed so well because he goes to 10 and everyone's like, oh, nice. And then he's like, well, what if?
And then everyone's like, Maverick.
And then everyone's like, oh.
But what if, though? Like
damn it,
Maverick.
Don't do it. Don't
So
put.
good.
And he's like, I'm just going to push all those. Like, even before, he's like, it's Mach 10, not 0.1, not 0.2, 10. You hit 10, we're done.
It's such Go ahead, Sparkz.
I was gonna say that's a great character to have with him, the buddy that comes in
Hondo
and moves with him to the program. Yeah,
I actually I love Hondo a lot in this movie. He's pretty cool.
I think there's a lot of great. There's going back to like the tension. There's some good tension there when we're like, okay, let's push to Mach. Let's get to Mach 10, and then you get there, and that's the release of the tension, and then tension because we're still going. Why?
It's like you reach Mach 10, you can slow down now.
Yeah.
Again, like everything that Top Gun did this movie does better. Every single thing. And I like Top Gun, but like the training montage of him, and what I love about this is like I don't know anything about the military. I don't know anything about jets. They give you so much information, and they make it so easy to understand of like how you lock on with missiles and guns and how all this stuff works. Like it's super simple to follow, and it's like really fun. Like watching those dogfights is fun in this movie.
It is. I want to bring up Mag's comment really quick, Sparkz, if I may. He's like, how do you feel about the movie on catchphrases? Like,
not enough. I needed more.
Well, Bray and I were just talking about the "Talk to Me, Goose" and the "Talk to Him" and the "Talk to Me, Dad" moment. And
well, if you mean there's no new catchphrases, yeah, I would agree with that. But I do think they reuse some of the ones that they need to, like "Talk to Me, Goose."
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not new ones. Yeah.
I think the movie. Go ahead, Ben.
Sparkz.
Oh. I was going to say the way that they use what?
I was laughing at Ryan. At Ryan. I'm sorry.
Right. The way because I thought Brandon was going to say something. Anyways, the way that they use the catchphrases from the old movie and the new movie is done very well, very tastefully, and also it brings out the moment even more. Especially the "Talk to Me, Goose," "Talk to Me, Dad" moments. You feel that in your soul. You know that this is an important moment. It's like, I need guidance. I need some help. Talk to me, Goose. And I feel like it's done very well because there are times where films are done. I can't think of any on top of my head. I know there are out there where they say the line just because they have to say the line because that's what they said in the last movie or in the other thing. Whereas this one, it was done very well. And I have to say it helped. It elevated the movie for me.
They didn't say I feel the need for speed in this movie.
I'm so glad they didn't feel the need to create new catchphrases or homage too many of the old ones, because I think those are the shittier parts of the script from Top Gun. So I'm glad that they didn't feel the need to do it, because I think that this film's more sincere in a character way.
Oh yeah, for sure. We talked about it already, but like let's talk about Miles Teller. Miles Teller, who is in Hollywood famously an asshole, but he's gotten better over the years. So it's hard for me. I want to like him a lot because I really like him in this movie. I think he's a great Goose Jr. I feel it. I see the spirit of Goose in there.
I see it. He looks like him.
Yeah, he does. I forget what scene it is specifically. Oh, I think it's the beach scene where he's like doing like a little dance, and I'm like, is that Goose right there? What's going on here? I like Miles Teller so much in this movie, and like it makes me want to like him more. But I just know he's got a reputation.
Yeah, same. I'm in the same boat as you.
Mm-hmm.
I think all the acting is John Hamm is being Mr. Stern, Cyclone Man. He's fun.
John Hamm has a fun bit where after Maverick proves that it can be done, he goes like, you left me in a tough position, Maverick. Do I court martial you and make you blah blah blah, or do I risk my career by making you the team leader? And Maverick just goes, well, sir, Maverick, that was rhetorical.
Yeah, don't answer it, Maverick. Yeah.
Don't answer it, Maverick.
I really enjoy it. I actually like Cyclone and Warlock. That's the other gentleman, the other officer. That's his call sign. I can't remember the actor's name, but I actually really enjoy him. Even the times where, because obviously John Hamm, he's a 3-star admiral. He's very by the book. When they're doing the football scene, the beach scene, as an homage to the volleyball scene, and Maverick's just sitting on the beach, just chilling. And he's like, what's this? Building your team. It's a dogfight football. And he's not like a super asshole about it, but he's like, okay. And he just lets it happen.
I just think it's very funny how many like beat for beat moments you can kind of repeat out of the first one, but they're just significantly better here.
Yeah.
You get the same admiral coming in at the beginning and being like, God damn it, Maverick, and then just go do the thing. But
there's one musical cue that I wish was in the movie, and it's because it was written for the original movie, and it's "Take Your Breath Away." I really wish when he gently lays her down.
I'm so glad that was not here.
I'm so
after the original, because of its overuse in the original, I can't take it seriously. It would have taken me out of the movie.
Oh, I think that's
me being
that's
honest.
fair.
That's how I would have felt coming recently from the original. Maybe in a vacuum, I wouldn't have felt that way. But coming recently from the original, I'm like, it's like in it 6 times that they cue up the opening, and only one time do they go to the lyrics, but they do the opening over and over, like it's every time he sees the girl, and I'm like, nah, man, I can't do it again.
Bias and the grandpa who hasn't seen the movie in 40 years are like, hey, I recognize that song. I'm just thinking, they put Danger Zone. I just wanted some,
which was also credited from the soundtrack of Top Gun.
Hell yeah.
which is interesting.
Honestly, just how the way the first one ends on such an upbeat thing, I was half expecting to hear Cheap Trick's Mighty Wings, which is the ending song for 86's Top Gun. I mean, don't get me wrong.
No, they got a new Lady Gaga song for that.
Still a good song. Still a good song.
It's a good song.
Still a good song. But I'm like, Mighty Wings, that song slaps.
I gotta say, like, I was watching the first film and I got really into the theme song of the film, like the actual like orchestrated theme song.
Yeah, they use it well here.
They use it really well in the trailer, which I didn't recognize as the theme song in the trailer when I first saw it. But it's very well done in the trailer. And then in this, they keep playing it, but not an over amount. It's where it is meant to be placed, and it still is recognizable as the Top Gun theme song.
So you know who did some additional helping support on this movie in the music department?
Who?
Papa Zimmer, baby.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
I'm looking at the composer. The composer, Lorne Balfe, who did WandaVision. Fun fact.
I do think you could have put something there, Ryan, in the romantic moment between Connolly and Cruise. I just am glad it wasn't Take Your Breath Away, but I do think there could have been something.
Yeah. Well, because they added, because not only did they have old, like the original songs, they had modern songs in here too.
Yeah.
Like the beach scene, it's a new modern song. So like
I think there could have been
a sexy new song. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there could have been like some kind of song there for them, but I think it should have been a new song, because also like that song defines his relationship with her, because it's all about every time he sees that girl in the original. Point. And so like have this be for them.
Yeah.
Good point.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Do I have anything else I want to say about this? I really liked this movie. It's a hootenanny.
It's a hoot and a holler. Yeah, like this makes me excited to see more like Glenn Powell and stuff. Like he's in another military plane movie coming out, but like I probably won't see that immediately. But like he has such charisma, and I'm like, I'm gonna look out for you in more movies, my guy. I like you a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of mentioned a little bit of like tension breaking, but like I think this film is very funny. Also, I think a lot of the jokes really land for me.
The diner bit after he crashes.
Oh, it's so good. Oh yeah, where am I? Earth.
That was very good. Yeah, man. Should we rate and final thoughts?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan.
I think this movie is worth the price of admission. I think if you don't like Top Gun, I still think this is a good movie. I think there's enough to get out. There's certainly 100% more character stuff happening in this movie. Yeah. So that alone, you're probably be invested in that. If not, then like it's a well shot movie. I think it looks great. It's fun. Nameless enemy, so you don't have to think about things too hard. Tom Cruise is killing it once again. I will give it an 8.5. Like it a whole lot.
Sparkz, want to go next?
Yeah, I think it's overall really well done, really well made, well shot, all that kind of stuff. A significant improvement over the original for my money, and well worth the price of admission. I will go 9.
Nice.
Ben.
I'll just like Maverick trying to push the sound barrier or push him to go to Mach 9. I'm gonna go with a 9.
Nice.
I don't know why I was going with that, but yeah.
See, I thought you were going Mach 10 there.
I know he was going for Mach 10, but he was like the goal was Mach 9.
You're right.
Mach 10 was 2 months away. Anyways, the film is a 9. It's absolutely a blast. I will definitely. If you put this one next to the original with this one, I'm gonna pick Maverick over the original Top Gun. It's that much better of a movie. It has a lot better character stuff. It deals with the emotional damage and the emotional loss of Goose much better than the first one ever will. And the action is fantastic. You love watch, and like Spark said, it's funny. I just love the scene where Maverick just busts up between the planes and everyone just goes, "Oh shit!"
No, I said it's funny. Stop it, Brandon.
I said
it was me.
No, I did. It was me.
It was me, actually.
Well, whoever said it was funny, they're right, because the scene where Maverick flies up between the two jets and he's like, "Good morning, aviators," and everyone's like, "Oh shit, there he is!" They're trying to put their masks on and properly get in the combat.
Get him! I got this.
And
It is.
Maverick.
It is very funny. There. Now it's me. Oh.
Yeah, the movie's a 9. It's fantastic. Go see it. If you haven't seen the first one, you'll still have a good time.
Yeah.
Ben, that's a good point. Like, honestly, this is one of the few times where I'm like, you watch Top Gun because it's one of the only jet movies that's around that's really like that does it good enough, right? You don't need to watch Top Gun ever again.
Nope.
This movie it's got everything you'd want from Top Gun, including Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, but infinitely better. So I'm
This
like,
movie's,
man, sorry, Top Gun.
Movie's a whole 4 points higher for my money.
Doesn't have any awkward, cringy, you lost that love and feeling moments.
I'm not going to say anything about that. I have a history with that song, a good history with that song. So that's not a cringy moment for me.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I sang it on stage with the original guy. Just saying. That is true.
Really?
Yeah. My family knew the Righteous Brothers who wrote that song.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So someone mentioned on Twitter that I cannot get out of my head, so I'm going to repeat it here. The difference between Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick isn't Paddington 1 to Paddington 2. It's Morbius to Paddington 2.
Oh, wait, I forgot to tell you that I did something this week. I watched Morbius.
You did?
You
Yeah.
did?
Yeah, I watched it on Twitch with 3,000 people.
Good.
Listen, no, it's not. I'm not gonna say it's a good movie, but like, it's not. It's people need to watch more movies if that's the worst thing you've ever seen. That's all I'm saying. It's totally. It's like Venom. It's adequately serviceable at best. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I actually enjoyed parts of it. I think the special effects are pretty sweet, actually.
Well, I can't say it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I've never seen it.
There you go.
But I thought that was a funny thing. Is whatever.
It is a significant, even though I like Top Gun, I think it is a significant jump in quality. Like one of the biggest in terms of like legacy sequels.
While they are playing in the same field of like what the movie is about and what its resources are utilizing, they are not in the same caliber.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that to get to my score, which is a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
I think this movie rules. This is one of my favorite movies of the year. I don't know if it is number one. It probably isn't, but it is definitely in my top 10. Jesus, this movie rocked my socks.
If the rest of the year isn't very good, it might be in my top 10.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure this movie is going to definitely be in my top 10. You have to knock out some huge hitters to take Maverick out. But man, I had a blast with this movie.
I suspect Maverick will not make my top 10, but you can find out in our anniversary special coming out soon. Friends, send us questions.
Send us questions, please. I said it at the beginning, but those of you who are watching us live did not see that part. Send us questions. fakenerdguys@gmail.com.
I think Mag is still here. He just put in his score for the movie for a 9.
Hell yeah, good score.
Cool. Yeah, love the movie. 10 out of 10. Shall we do our book club?
And then I watched Top Gun, the original, for the first time because I'd never seen it.
Hey, we've all watched Top Gun this week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Brandon, can you play our main topic theme just real quick and do a mini review? Can we do a mini review of Top Gun real quick? Just real quick.
Wait, of the first Top Gun?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay. Okay.
And we're back. Full spoilers for Top Gun.
For Top Gun, the original.
1986. Sparkz,
I feel like
take it away. What do you think?
I feel like we'll definitely be referencing this back in our Maverick discussion, but I will give you my quick summation here that I wrote up, which is a perfect encapsulation of the time it was made, with eternal sunsets and hyper-fetishized masculinity surrounding a visual style that felt jets on screen were inherently cool enough that many shots didn't need more thought put into them. Overall, it's fine. A cultural touchstone that by today's standards has a script I can only regard as satirical parody, yet it's somehow completely sincere.
Fascinating.
I was not crazy about Top Gun, guys. I'll be honest. I think it's okay at best. I really think Tom Cruise's character is gross. but that's by 2022 standards. It's obviously 1986 in that film, and I recognize that. Still gross, dude. He's kind of the worst, but he's also the coolest, and that's why he succeeds at everything.
Straight up walks into a lady's room to hit on Charlie.
Outside of the final dogfight, so many of the jet shots are so poorly edited together that I can't keep track of what's going on except for the narration that's trying to tell me what's happening.
Sure.
And that was like, okay. I get it. I understand why it's the touchstone it is. It's nice to know that I don't get how the most famous line from Top Gun is "I feel the need for speed," but not.
It's not. That's not from Top Gun.
I feel the need for speed.
No, that's from his Isn't that from his driving movie? Isn't that?
No, that's in Top
That's
Gun.
in Top Gun.
Oh,
It's in
does it?
Top Gun.
Okay, my bad. Okay.
Yeah, they say it in Top Gun. Like everybody regards that as like the most famous quote from Top Gun. I posit that the most famous quote from Top Gun is "That's classified. If I tell you, I'll have to kill you," because that's from Top Gun, and I didn't know that till I watched this movie, and I hear that all the time.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. When I was leaving the theater for one of the movies I'll talk about, a pre-screening of Top Gun Maverick had just gotten out, and the people were going, "I feel the need for speed." And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
See, I forgot that was like, I guess, that's at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, like I forgot that, like, yeah, it's not as iconic. I guess
I would feel like the line would be "Talk to me, Goose," but
that's what I think.
That only happens at the end, so I kind of understand why that doesn't get like iconic status. But yes, that is one of the ones.
They only say "I feel the need for speed" once.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of this is weird.
I talked to a friend of mine today whose like family is in the Navy, and she recently rewatched Top Gun this week, and she was saying that she was super pissed about the dog tag moment because A, you're not supposed to take both, and B, that he throws them into the ocean rather than give them to the wife or the son. She was like, that's two super big no-nos as far as like Navy protocol. I'm like, I get that.
Sure. I do think our culture doesn't know that you're not supposed to take both, which is because it happens in all.
Because it happens all the time. I think it like particularly stood out to her because it was Navy stuff, and she's like, "That's a no," and I know it.
But but like throwing the dog tags, I even was just like, shouldn't she give that to Meg Ryan?
Yeah,
I didn't think about that. He lost his best friend. I thought it was sad. Yeah, I get it.
It wasn't until I think I saw like the first hour of Saving Private Ryan that I realized what the dog tags were actually for. Mm-hmm. You know that scene where they're coming in and they're dropping the dog tags in like the helmet, or even there's a few Vietnam memorials where it's the dog tags of all the soldiers who fell in Vietnam. They're hanging. It's like that's for identification in case someone doesn't come back home,
or if like you're so scarred, they still know it's you.
Just to keep on this review of Top Gun though, if you don't mind, Sparkz, may I take it?
I see. I don't need to like beat it down or anything. I was just like, it's all right.
I also really liked. I also rewatched it. I haven't seen it maybe about 15 years, maybe even more. So I decided to rewatch it for the new one. I actually really liked it. I think it's a really good time. I had a fun time with it. But I do agree with the dogfight, what you said, because if I believe I remember reading that the movie was kind of saved in the edit. So it's really choppy in its editing because it's trying to create a narrative out of what essentially there was none.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how true that is, but that's what I read.
For sure.
But yeah, I honestly don't have much more to say than I honestly really dug it. It's a fun movie.
I grew up loving the film. I watched it so much as a kid. I mean, I only watched it for the for the jet scenes, for the dog fights, and for Top Gun and everything. And now watching it again as an adult, actually reading the subtitles, hearing what they're saying, what the lines are. There are parts of the movie where I do agree. There are parts where it's gross, where Pete Mitchell is kind of a dick. But then there are times it's like he's fighting against the ghost of his dad, who people say that he went down to Vietnam and because he messed up. And then even when after Goose dies and he doesn't take the shot and then when Jester's like, come on, kid, take the shot. They're just telling him, like, get over it. It's like he just lost his friend and his friend died. And then 2022 standards, it's like, yo, we understand. We can give you the help you need.
No, but even then, like one of the things I do like about the movie is that even then they're like, take your time. You know, we understand you just lost your co-pilot.
Right.
But there is a point. Is Ben?
He was.
Ben was okay, because I just saw him. It was very funny. So like I do really appreciate that they did that, but he does have a time limit essentially on it because he does decide to get back in the saddle. I really like the supporting cast. The admiral with the mustache, I forget the actor's name, but I like him in Tom Skerritt. Thank you. I like him in most everything I've seen him in, and I really like his character in this one specifically. I thought he was a very good character.
Yeah,
Okay, am I back?
You're back.
Yes.
You're a little fuzzy, but you're back.
Yeah. I like this movie so much more than I thought I was going to. Yeah, like I agree, Sparkz. I think the jet scenes are fine. Like I probably like them more than you because like especially at the time, doing what they did is still like trying to make like real jets look cool and make sense of it. Like yeah, like whether it was saved in the edit or not, like it's not the best you've ever seen. We certainly watched the movie today or recently. That's like Top Gun Maverick's insane, guys. Like with the aerial shots, right? The thing I really connected with was the characters, and it felt like I was watching like a sports anime. It's incredibly cheesy, and like it's very 80s. Like it is definitely a thing of its time. But like I connected with Goose so hard. I like that guy is so charismatic, and like I don't think the movie would be the same without that actor. Like I think his name's Anthony Edwards. Like Tom Cruise in this is pre-Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise. He's fine in the movie, I think. He's like my least favorite part of the movie. He's totally just a dude being a dude.
He's 100% my least favorite part of that movie.
Yeah, and like he's fine, but like he's the main character. But like you got like Iceman, and I love Val Kilmer being like super. Like he doesn't make mistakes. He's cold and calculated. He's Iceman. Like I love that like anime aesthetic that they're doing, and it is like super like homoerotic at points. And like the volleyball scene is hilarious, but like
it is
it's so earnest. It's very earnest.
Like it is very earnest. It's I can also admit that there's an amount of like, you know, this is the movie. This more than I think anything now that I've seen it is the movie that Team America is making fun of, and and I can really get that. And there's an amount of like the hyper masculinized American patriotism that I'm just like, boy, I don't vibe with that, homie. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that colors my perspective of it for sure, because that movie is geared for that, and it's just that's not me.
No movie has increased enrollment in the military more than Top Gun.
You're right. Yeah,
that's true.
Entire generations of people love jets because of that. They're like, oh, it's not all that, y'all.
Strickland is the
he's the captain.
He's the guy in this. That was funny.
Yeah.
But it does
Back to the
this,
Future.
Like, why I said like the hyper fetishized masculinity is because like it's both masculinity that like by the idea of the zeitgeist at the time would appeal to females, but it's also appealing to males in the sense of like, this is the man that you want to be, this is the man's man, but it does color it with like almost loving that man as a man, in a way that it won't be direct about. That's definitely there.
I will say one thing that I do wish, non-spoilers for Top Gun Maverick, I wish there was a little more homoeroticism, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
Like it was very much like, oh, it's not leaning into any of that. And I'm like, oh, I kind of wish it did a little bit more.
I do too.
It's okay though. It's no big deal.
Okay.
All right, review over. Back to a regular discussion of what we're doing.